Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And this video I've got two replays for you in the tier 9 British medium premium tank, the Cobra. So the Cobra is a 4-shot autoloader, which makes it a bit of a unique tank, and as you'll see by the title, this is the reward for the Leaderboard challenge. So this is something Wargaming brought out at the start of the month, and you can earn this tank for free by completing the Leaderboard. So we're going to have two replays for you today, and on the equipment setup I run optics, vents and vert stabs. And on the perks I run born leader, rapid reload, sixth sense, steady aim, situational awareness, silent driving, camouflage expertise, snapshot and run and gun. So a mixture of sort of camo and gun perks. I mean, I run sort of the maximum gun perks I can with this tank because it being the 4-shot autoloader, it is a little bit troll. Well, I say a little bit, it's quite trolly on the accuracy. And the reason being is obviously you've got heat and HESH rounds only on, and HE as well, on the gun. But the HESH rounds you can do 490 per shot. You do 360 on the heat rounds. But with the HESH, there's obviously big potential to do a lot of damage with one clip. So you could potentially take out a tank in one clip if you pen all your shots on the HESH rounds. So that's hence why you've sort of got the trolley accuracy. You've also got a very long reload. I think I've got mine. I mean, base reload is about 50 seconds, which is ridiculous. But I've got my reload down to about just over 30 seconds with the setup that I'm running. Obviously, you can't run gun rammer on your equipment because that's not allowed on autoloaders overall. So gone with the rapid reload, and that's why I've gone with vents as well. And then I've gone for the view range as well, optics, because the view range is quite poor on this tank. It's about 370 meters view range base, so yeah, it could do with increasing. The camo is pretty average as well. You have got a 20% fire chance on this tank as well, so that's something to bear in mind. Although the couple of games I have played in this, I've not been set on fire yet. So again, that might be something that shows different in the game as to opposed to on paper. The interclip reload on this is quite nice, 1.5 seconds, so you can get those shots away. It's not too bad turret armor. You can bounce the old rounds. It's got 10 degrees of gun depression as well, so it's one of those where you do want to be playing hold down. Overall, I would say you treat this tank as a support tank. Again, I've only played sort of roughly 3 or 4 games in this, and I've actually had the tank since a couple of years ago now. I think when this tank came, I think it came out in a season pass. It's one of the reward tanks, and I think that's when I picked up. And in all fairness, it's the first time I've actually played it, and out of the 3 or 4 games I've had in this tank, I've quite enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think I would. I thought it'd be a bit too trolly. I thought the reload would kind of make me bored, but in actual fact it's similar to sort of the bat chat. When you're on reload, it's plenty of time for you to sort of figure out your next option. So it's an autoloader that sort of makes you play better, I think, if that makes sense, or it makes me play better. I've held back here. Initially, this is Serene coast. Initially, I was tempted to sort of make the play at C1 and sort of go hold down, and almost like in a bit of a brawl setup, in a sort of brawl situation. But I've actually opted against that because of the long reload. I don't think you really want to be up front, because if you're on reload and you've got nowhere to go, you're going to get screwed over and you're going to get flanked and taken out pretty quick. And you can see that autoloader there, the interclip is brilliant. I've just taken out 2 tanks that are one-shots in quick succession before they get away. The teeth breaker and that bat chat there had no chance, and taking out some dangerous autoloaders there before they were able to get in and try and take me out. This Chimera's gone in. I'm kind of thinking might be my numbers up here. The Chimera's firing HE, So I'm kind of using him as a bit of a meat shield while the Malshin's trying to get a shot into me. He's backed up, the Malshin does get a shot in, but I think we bounced him. We're just doing the best we can to actually try and avoid these guns as much as possible. And we're just hugging the Chimera there, but unfortunately we do get taken out by the Malshin. But we had a pretty decent game in this replay, I think. And like I say, it was just sort of, it was a good starting point to sort of discuss the tank in general, show off some of its strengths, and I guess also sort of show off some of its weaknesses. Because like I said, that 30-second reload, that's probably its biggest weakness. It's a long time to be on reload, and if you don't quite think right or plan right with your tactics, then you could get caught out. I'd also say this is a bit of a it's also a tank where you can kind of sort of size up your position. If you can see it, you find a tank isolated, you can, if it's lightly armored, then chances are you can definitely go in and take it out. So anyway, we come top of the board on Serene Coast here. We've got 2 kills, just over 4.2k damage with 1000 assist, 790 blocked there, and we only picked up the first class, but overall I thought it was a fairly decent game. And like I say, a nice sort of intro to seeing how this tank actually works and the best way to play it, basically. So second replay now, we are on Karelia, and again we're top tier here, so it's a nice matchup. Being top tier sort of makes us, well, I'm sort of thinking I can be a little bit more bold, a little bit more braver. I can kind of rely on my turret armor potentially. Turret armor is really weird because it's kind of like the turret's a little bit split. So the top half of the turret is actually, you've got between sort of 140 to 160 millimeters of thickness, so you can get the odd bounce, but it still wouldn't rely on it too much. But the bottom half is where it's really thick, and you can actually bounce sort of 200 plus round, 200 mil plus of anything sort of that size penetration. So yeah, we've decided we're going to sort of push in, and yeah, just going back to the armor, sort of the hull armor as well. At the front isn't too bad. Again, similar thickness to sort of the top of the turret, between 140 160 mil of thickness. And yeah, we decided it's not something really you can rely on too much. You can see we do actually take quite a few shots from those tank destroyers sitting at the back there. And we're actually down to 549 hit points. Not really sure what this light tank's doing, but he's kind of getting on my nerves, really. Not entirely sure why he's sort of at the back here, but we'll go with it. But in this spot, I'm gonna get my reload off. We've got a few shots off, only 619 hit points of damage. Didn't quite fully pen on one of the shots. And we're just poking, we're just trying to see if we can potentially light some tanks up there. Now we did hold out, we did sort of overpeak a little bit too long there, but luckily we didn't get caught out for it. And you see there we roll for 529, and lovely roll on the waffle. And then we take out the Borsig straight after, so we take out 2 real dangerous tank destroyers in very quick succession. And that's what I say, the beauty of the Hesh rounds is, if you hit those lightly armoured tanks right, you can do some really big damage. So now that we're back on reload, we're just going to sort of keep tucked behind this rock. We're going to get rid of our spot, and we're just going to sort of poke up, use our gun depression, and just try and see if we can spot anything up at the back potentially, which I don't think we will, because the medium and heavy tank in front of us are doing sort of the job. They'll be able to spot anything close on what we will. Try to get a shot into that Skoda there, but he gets taken out by our friendly heavy tank. Now I'm just going to see if I can squeeze some shots into this Stern Tiger. Gonna try and aim for the lower plate there, but unfortunately didn't quite aim that fully, and it just hits the tracks. But we did do some splash damage. It's the beauty of the Hesh as well. I mean, you know, ideally you want to be fully penning your shots, but you know, with anything like Sturm that's got sort of big superstructure, you know, at least you can do a bit of splash damage. It's not ideal, but if you're in sort of a bit of a difficult situation, or you know, you can't sort of push on until that tank is dead, then let's say you can go for sort of the splash alternative. And to be fair, with splash damage, it's good, because if you're doing it sort of consistently enough, the enemy team may actually decide to sort of back up. You'll get them to a point where you'll either be able to finish them off, or they'll start backing off, and you know, you can potentially advance into a better position where you can actually get some proper shots on. So, you know, being able to splash is you know, it's not too much of a bad thing. It's just, it will take forever to whittle the damage down on a tank destroyer with plenty of armor like the Stern Tiger. So anyway, the scores are not in our favour. The enemy team's sort of 3 tanks up. They've also got very good map control as well. However, we do have the hill. The other flank has fallen. We've got tank destroyers in the middle here, and my fear is that they're going to just get shot at from the other side. Now we do see this Skoda here, and realistically we should have aimed these shots a little bit better, because we aimed for the side, and I don't know if they were just getting absorbed into the tracks or if there was any space time. I don't think there was space time. I think it was just getting absorbed into the tracks or not fully penetrating the side because of the angles. In which case we were just doing splash damage again rather than proper damage, which I'm surprised at. So I thought the general's not got any armor. I thought that would sort of butcher it hitting the side. Really, we should have maybe aimed at the lower plate, and we probably would have penned, and it would have gone through. Now we can see this Jagdpanther 2 and this Mantis. Now I do need to be careful, because the Jagdpanther could put me on a one-shot here. I do try and squeeze a shot in, but that's kind of a little bit rushed, not properly aimed. I was just trying to do it without actually getting shot, but the Jagdpanther has fired. Squeeze one shot in, it does hit his lower plate and damages his engine, but the second one unfortunately gets absorbed by the tracks again, so we only do a bit of splash damage there and we trap him in place. Now I'm back on reload, and it's the scores are 5-8, so you know, again, not really looking very much in our favour. I'm kind of sort of thinking at this point, it wouldn't surprise me if we lost this game. Waffle does manage to take out the CS52 there. Again, we're just staying on reload, and we're just gonna give support to our heavy tank and our medium tank while these guys are distracted. This is the time where I could potentially come and get some shots in here. Ideally I'd like to take out the Mantis, but I noticed the Jagdpanther is a one shot and a bit of splash damage. I didn't need to aim that. As long as I just sort of splashed him, I knew I was going to hit him. For some reason there, I only do 152 damage to the Mantis. Again, a lightly armoured tank. I probably hit maybe his turret, his gun mantler, in which case I didn't fully pen. Charioteer decides to just full on YOLO, and luckily we managed to hit the side of him. He was a full pen with the Hesh, so yeah, he was taken out there. I don't have to worry about that guy. I've got one round sort of in my clip left, and I'm sort of thinking about getting across and helping out this poor T28 who's getting bullied by this T30 and the Emil 2. Now I see the Emil 2 as a one shot, so I'm going to automatically go for the Emil 2. It's got an auto loader, and as is a one shot, well, it's easy pickings, and I'd rather get the numbers down and make it even now. So we're on 4-all, so we brought this game back a little bit, and now I'm back on reload, and I'm just going to observe the hit points of all the red team, or as many that I can see. There is one accounted for, which I think is the enemy Cobra. I'm not quite sure how many hit points he's on. Now I'm keeping a close eye on this T30 and this T28 engagement. Now I'm very surprised that T30 hasn't just absolutely annihilated this T28. So I'm 431 hit points, and I've got the rear of him, and I'm reloaded. easy pickings. Again, I'm just going to go through that guy, no problem. Now, the Cobra has kind of given his position away. He's, T28 has gone down, which says to me that the Cobra, or the enemy Cobra, should I say, is over the other side somewhere. So I need to bear that in mind. There's only him and the IS3 left. Now I want to sort of push in. Our Carnarvon's gone rushing in, our Chimera's gone rushing in. The Carnarvon goes down to the IS3, which just leaves a 2v2 now. Now the Chimera does take up the IS3, which is good. And now it's just 2v1, and we're against the enemy Cobra here. Now I've pinged the map to say where I think the Cobra is, and I'm going to try and see. You can see the Chimera offers an affirmative message on the radio wheel, so that says to me that he's a bit savvy with the comms. He can see he's responding to what I'm saying on the comms, so that gives me a little bit of confidence that this guy knows kind of knows what he's doing. And he's responsive to what I'm doing, so that's good. We can use a bit of teamwork here to potentially win the game, and that's what I'm going to plan to do now. Now I know this Chimera is on board, and now I know that he's there's a bit of competence about him. He's kind of he's aware of the radio wheel. Says to me that he's going to be aware of his surroundings and potentially what I'm trying to ask him to do. And essentially at this point I'm just peeking. My main point was defend this position, stay on the high ground, because this is quite a strong point. I'm looking down sort of below on sort of the 9-0 line to make sure that the Cobra wasn't going to come in from our base. But the Cobra has just done the biggest mistake you can make when you're in a situation like this, which is getting on the cap, because that just basically has told me exactly where this guy is. And now I can just make a good plan of attack, which is to go. Now, I didn't want my Chimera to follow me. Reason being is I would rather he just stay on the high ground, because I think I know where this Cobra is going to be in the cap, and I think where the Chimera would be, he's got enough cover. He can cover the cap basically. All I need to do is just light this Cobra up, and the Chimera can hopefully do the rest. So that was my thinking, was to get in there and just be the visionary. If the Cobra rushes me, then I've got cover from the Chimera. I've also got a full clip. We should be able to take him out between us. Should being the operative word. We never want to hold our breath, and we never want to assume that the game is in the bag just because it's 2v1. This guy, for all I know, could be a super uni, could be completely realistically very good at the game. Now he's on 656 hit points. I missed the shot into the side of his turret. The Chimera I don't think fully pens. I completely spam all my shots like a complete noob, and yeah, the 652 damage that this guy was on, we didn't manage to take him out. But then he just decides to give us a love tap anyway. He fired his shots, I fired mine, we're both on reload. He's just gone for it and swore, sod it. He potentially could have won that game, I don't know. It depends which one of us had gone on, gone off reload first. But there we go, I'll take it. We come top of the board, pick up 7 kills, 5.5k damage, 360 blocks, no assist. We do pick up the Ace Tanker and the Devastator medal and the High Caliber. So it was a real nice game at the end there. Bit tactical, good bit of teamwork, and a big shout out to the Chimera player as well. He had a solid game towards the end. Some real good teamwork. So fair play to him. So anyway, guys, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. And like I say, this Cobra, you may have earned it already if you've sort of done the leaderboard. Definitely a good tank, I think. I want to play some more games in it to see what it's like, sort of bottom tier. I think it might be a bit, bit of an issue, sort of bottom tier against tier 10s. But lightly armored tanks should be able to clear up pretty nicely. But yeah, if you got it, let me know how you think about the tank. Is it any good? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Yeah. Give us a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, guys, and as always, I'll catch you next time.